So I told her, Ghana is in a very deep crisis right now.
Okay.
And as the project accountant for all the regions in the country, I oversee 11 account officers.
Hello, guys. Welcome to another episode and welcome to Lambs TV Official. My name is Alberta Johnson, and I'll be your host for today's episode. So, with me, we have. Can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Dominic Che.
Yeah.
I'm studying disaster management and UTRGB
Okay.
as well. So yes, and I'm a Ghanaian.
Okay. So, you said you're studying disaster management.
Yes.
So, can you give us a little bit information about your background?
Okay, I would say so. I did my first degree from the University of Ghana Business School,
Okay.
and I studied accounting.
Okay.
I did accounting and finance also at the master's level in KNUST,
Okay.
and I worked for a sustainability company in Ghana as their project accountant for I think for 7 years. I practiced accounting, but the nature of the company was such that we were trying to solve the agricultural crisis that we have in Ghana. Currently, all the cocoa farms are dying, so my company is trying to rehabilitate all those cocoa. So, working in that space, I decided to join the same field where I was specializing risk reductions and sustainability issues to give me a broader perspective. And I believe that was what I was looking at on the internet, and then UTRGV popped up, and so I decided to give it a shot.
Okay. So, this is like your second degree, your second master's.
Yes.
Okay, I was already going to ask you how or why you transitioned from an accounting finance background into risk management, right?
Yeah.
Disaster management. But you've already given us that information in your explanation.
The way I just want to give a little bit
Okay, go ahead.
background about what I'm doing. So the United Nations Sendai framework. I don't know if you know about it.
Unfortunately, I don't.
They released a strategic plan where they talked about the various strategies, risk reduction strategies,
Okay,
to help the global world to eliminate disasters and all that. And one of them was that if you finance $1,
yeah,
you save the nation or the globe $6.
okay,
So I believe that finance plays a major role in managing disasters, and I believe that I'm still reading the same space,
okay,
looking at the fact that I have the background in finance
okay,
and I'm venturing into disaster risk reductions.
okay. Thank you very much. So now, I want us to look at your journey from Ghana to the US. So moving from Ghana to the US, did you just okay, I'm coming to do disaster management. Okay, you searched online and you got just UTRGV, or what was the process like? How many schools did you apply? How did you even get to know the schools that you applied to?
Oh, so it's I this is a very good question.
Okay,
I always say, and I advise people who want to study in the US, that coming to study, especially from master's to a PhD level, it doesn't start in a day.
yeah,
You plan ahead and you know exactly what to do. And the best way to do this is to contact potential professors. For me, that was the information I had, and that was the ideal one for me. Looking at the fact that application fees is
yeah,
expensive, and um, it also takes a lot of time. I didn't really worry myself to apply to a lot of schools because I was in the same space.
Okay.
And even in undergraduate, I served in the National Disaster Management Organization, which is the NADMO
Okay.
in Ghana. And so I was always watching videos related to disaster management and things like that. And so I believe that this YouTube algorithm, and it gives you the things you are doing. I just by any chance got into UTRGV advertising the program.
Oh, okay. That's
And so
interesting.
I quickly ran to the website, and I made a follow up emails and things like that. And the faculty was very um,
Receptive.
receptive and
Okay.
interesting to me. So at some point, I was making the calls,
Okay.
not emails.
So it means you applied to just one school. Let me put
Yes,
it.
I just did
Okay,
UTRGV
because
and
for me, my story is different. For me, I did like about 8 schools,
mm,
and I got admission to 5 of them, and 2 of them actually gave me financial assistance. So in
okay.
yours, you just did one school, and that
Yes,
one school gave you the financial assistance to come.
yes, I didn't really worry myself with a lot of things because I had assurance that
Okay.
hey, the admission was there, the funding was there. So and this is a very critical area, especially in the US
Yeah.
here. And not a lot of schools also are offering the program.
Yeah.
If you could say it's not really famous,
Yeah. It's not
it's not a
popular.
popular course. So
I think I would agree with what you said about following up and getting the assurance that if you go ahead and apply, the funding is there for you. Because if you don't follow up, then you just apply with the hope that you would get funding at the end of it.
this is how it works. Okay, every department goes out there to fetch for money.
Oh yeah,
Once they get the money, they want to give it to potential good students who will
yeah,
join the program. And once you have built a rapport with the faculty, the admission committee gives the admissions. I
hmm,
mean, in terms of UTRGV,
yeah,
the admission committee gives the admissions, but the department will sit on those that are admitted
yeah,
and want to say that, hey, I know this guy. I have his CV, I have his or her CV, and I think he's good. We can fund him
okay,
or her. You
yeah,
understand? So it's more or less like reaching out to potential people and advertise yourself and say, hey, I have an admission and I feel like this is the best program for me. So can you help me with financial issues to come? It's better than applying to different schools randomly without
yeah.
contacting the
Having the
department.
assurance.
It's really just about 40% of the people that easily get funding right away without contacting the faculty.
Yeah, even with me, I think I had a conversation with a faculty member. Yeah, one back and forth conversation just so to have that assurance that he would come through for me at the end.
Okay.
So, okay, I also want to ask, when you were applying, what was the process like? SOP, CV, we hear people saying they write statement of purpose, they put their CV together, recommendation letters. Like, how did you manage to put all these things together?
Okay. So I I I wrote a GRE. Okay,
Okay,
so I was quite exposed to SOPs and
okay,
all the materials that are related to applying for schools in the US. I have knowledge about that. But what really helped me was the fact that myself and my friends,
hmm,
we were always teaming up. And obviously, you have people who are here already. So once you are in Ghana, you contact the people who are already here, and
yeah,
your connections. So you write it. And the thing about SOPs, I'll talk about SOPs because I feel like it's aside your transcript, the SOPs is also very
very,
important.
very,
Yes, and the reason why I'm going to talk about it is that you don't have to make your SOP kind of like writing like a WASI
essay.
essays.
Describe yourself.
Okay, yes, you have to pour out your the things that what really just be real and personalize it. Okay, so for mine in this instance, I made mention of a variety of things and how my undergraduate degrees is linking up to what I want to do.
Okay, yeah,
And I also personalize it to the fact that this is where I want to go. And so if that meets what you're looking for, then you should pick me. And so you don't have to write it in a set, just personalize it. Hey, my name is that, this is what I do, and this is my motivation and things like that. So SOP is very important. I put all these things through, and I consulted a few friends who were in the US as well.
Okay.
They gave me guidance, and I mean, yeah. So you don't have to do it in isolation. You have to get advice from everywhere.
I read somewhere, I think it was on LinkedIn, that I read that there's a difference between statement of purpose and personal statement.
Okay.
Because a school might ask you to put out a personal statement.
Okay.
That is you telling them about yourself, a personal statement. And a statement of purpose means what you are up to, what you are about. That is when you put in your long-term goals, your short-term goals, like something that gives a purpose. You understand? And the personal one is something that is describing you, your background, what you've achieved, and all those things. I think
it comes back to the personalization, right?
Yes. So most of the time, people just have it in a generic way. Like it doesn't really talk about them as a person. It's just general things.
Yeah, and that's the mistake a lot of people do. Okay. You know, like you said, the motivations, statement of purpose, and the motivation what?
Personal statement and statement of purpose.
Yes, personal statement and statement is, I think it's the same.
No.
What did you say?
Statement of purpose.
Of purpose.
And personal statement.
And personal statement.
They might have a little bit. They're not the same. Just
I feel like with the personal statement, people are going to talk about, hey, their family and the way their daddy died, and I mean things like that.
It's anything that would sell your story.
Okay.
Would come in there, I think.
Well, I wrote a statement.
I think some schools would ask you for both, because I was doing an application recently, and they asked for statement of purpose. They also submit a personal statement as well.
Oh, okay. I just did UTRGV, so
okay. So I also want to ask you, when you were coming to the US, right? The whole it's a process. So once you've identified the school and the program that you want to go to, you put in applications, you get the funding. So now you have the funding. You need to move from Ghana or whatever you are to the US. Let's talk about the journey. How was it, like acquiring the visa, the process?
All right. So earlier I made mention that I got a support from the faculty, but what I did not say was that I didn't get a full funding.
Okay.
I had some deficit. That was first, I think 2022 or so.
22,000.
2022.
2022.
2022. Okay. I'm not so sure. It's been a long time. But so I was bounced the visa, and I think that was not because I wasn't bounced because of that.
Oh.
Okay, I think I was probably bounced because of visa preparation and all that.
Okay, you're really prepared for it.
Yes, everything played a major role. But again, there was this guy that I contacted.
Okay.
And for me, I would stand anywhere and say, hey, this guy really helped me nail the visa interview. There's a difference between applying for the school and applying for visa.
Definitely.
And I think that the most difficult one and the most important one over here
is to get a
visa.
Yeah.
Yes, because I remember that finally when I got a visa, when I got a full funding, because I was bounced earlier on with partial funding.
Okay.
And then I had a full funding because the faculty made sure that they really work hard to get me full funding this time around. And when I had that one, I was like, hey, so am I going to, if I get rejected again, if I go bounced with the visa again, it means the full funding is in vain, right?
It's wasted.
So that means that the visa application is very, very important, because you could have the full funding and you could be bounced.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure you put in a lot of effort in preparing for the visa and all that. And you have to get your story straight. And I think if time permits us, we could discuss about some of the general questions. And for me, my approach to making sure that
You
the
can just
visa
give
consular.
us a brief, of your approach and what you did.
Okay, I was mentioning a guy. He's called Gideon. He's in Alabama doing GIS masters right now,
Okay.
and that guy made mention. He said that you need to sell the problem.
Okay.
Okay, and I was fortunate to be working in a company that was solving a critical issue in Ghana.
Okay.
So finally, when I got to the consular officer, hey, have you been denied before? Obviously, I have to say yes because it's in
Yeah,
my
you
history,
you
right?
have.
But secondly, he said, what has changed? And I told her that um, earlier I didn't have full funding,
Okay.
and I think I was not prepared because the consular officer asked me some series of questions that I couldn't really um, give a good answer. So, but this time around, things are different. I'm fully funded, and I've also taken time to understand the whole process. So I think I'll be a good student in the US. And then she now that you've clarified that portion,
Yeah.
she comes back to ask you, okay, so why are you going for this program? So she wants to know whether now indeed you are prepared, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so she asked me that, and I told her, this is a strategy. You need to sell the problem. So I told her, Ghana is in a very deep crisis right now.
Okay.
And as the project accountant for all the regions in the country, I oversee 11 account officers
Okay.
working, disbursing funds to solve this crisis. That is, the major GDP earner for the country is going in drain. And
Okay.
so right now I'm joining the disaster management program to equip myself in financing in disaster management.
Okay.
And I saw the consular officer nod, and I feel like she was impressed. And after that, she didn't ask me any questions again. So
Okay.
it's a strategy. You need to sell the problem. If you're coming for say, if you are coming for say data or statistics,
Mm-hmm.
why are you coming for statistics? Just mention the
You need to
problem.
find a problem and provide
Yes,
solution to the problem.
you need to find a problem
Mm-hmm.
and say that because of this and that and that, I'm coming to do this.
Okay.
And every, I would say, person would buy into that idea.
Okay. So thank you very much. Then we'll go on a break, a very quick break for now, and we'll come back and continue this conversation.